Good afternoon. My name is Danny Morrow. I'm currently a physical education teacher and athletic director in Lake County. Just finishing up my fourth year of teaching physical education. I'm also a wrestling coach in Orange County. I've been coaching for the last 8 years as well. So I've been very active in the education field. My topic of discussion is based on the multiple intelligence theory developed by Dr. Howard Gardner in 1983 at Harvard University. He goes in suggesting that traditional ways of testing for intelligence are biased to certain types of individuals, that students and individuals are not just limited to one or even just two specific ways of learning. And he goes into 8 different aspects of the multiple intelligence theory. The first I'll go into is visual and spatial, which pretty much involves visual perception of the environment, the ability to create and manipulate mental images, and the orientation of the body in space. The second he goes into is verbal and linguistic, involving reading, writing, speaking, and conversing in someone's own or foreign language. The third, logical and mathematical, obviously involving numbers and computing skills, recognizing different patterns and relationships, timelines, and order. The fourth, which is what I deal with most often, is bodily and kinesthetic, involving the physical coordination and dexterity, using fine and gross motor skills, and expressing oneself through physical activity. The fifth, musical, involving understanding and expressing someone's thought process through music, rhythmic movements and dance, or composing, playing, or conducting music. The sixth, interpersonal, involving understanding how to communicate with and understand other people and how to work collaboratively. The seventh, intrapersonal, involving the understanding of one's inner world of emotions and thoughts and growing in the ability to control them and work with them consciously. And the eighth and final, naturalist, involving understanding the natural world of plants and animals, noticing their characteristics, categorizing them, generally involving keen observation and the ability to classify other things as well. So I'm going to go into an example of what I used through my middle school students. They had to work on a health project based on a group fitness expression. So I pretty much was using the multiple intelligence theory without even really knowing it. Because I try to steer clear of just having them exercise all the time. I want them to understand and explain themselves of why they're doing the specific exercise and how it can better benefit them as a student. So I'm just going to go into the standards based off of my project for my students. The first standard, PE.6.C.2. Recognize at least 2 movements or activities that lead to improvement in the health-related components of fitness. The next standard, identify safety procedures that should be followed when engaging in activities to improve cardio, respiratory endurance, muscular fitness, muscular endurance, and flexibility. And the next, identify how each of the health-related components of fitness, such as cardio, respiratory endurance, conditioning, flexibility, are improved by training. So what the students had to do is they got together in a group and they were assigned a specific exercise. And they had to record themselves demonstrating this exercise in their own routine. They could have done a simple, okay, everybody, we're going to do 20 jumping jacks, so here's how we're going to do the jumping jack. All right, so for example, one group had to perform the push-up. So during the video, they had certain requirements that they had to offer, all right, to their presentation. So sitting down as a class watching this video, all right, so they were being the teachers. They had to explain during the video of how to properly perform the push-up based on what we learned in class. Okay, so the proper hand placement, proper body positioning, and the proper full movement of the push-up. All right, so obviously going through the multiple intelligence theory, this is covering the fourth, bodily kinesthetic, okay, involving the physical coordination and dexterity. Now, working together as a group at the same time, they're going through the interpersonal, all right? They're understanding how to communicate with and understand other people and how to work collaboratively with each other. So anytime you're going through a group project, a group presentation, you're covering that interpersonal skill. All right, you're also going over the intrapersonal skill, all right, involving understandings of one's inner world of emotions and thoughts, growing in the ability to control them, all right, work with them consciously. All right, so there's three things right there: bodily, interpersonal, and intrapersonal. Now, at the same time, I allowed them to put some music in the background if they chose to. If they wanted to make it an old 80s fitness video, all right, they could put some 80s music on in the background, all right, to help motivate themselves or even motivate the person watching it and put a little bit of humor behind their presentation. So if there's one person in the group and might not be enjoying themselves as much and they're not as interested in the push-up, their job could be to find the music for the video or find a way to coordinate the music with the push-up. Okay, so there's the fifth aspect of the multiple intelligence theory. All right, so we still have the visual, verbal, and logical left over. So in some other groups, all right, obviously they need to do a certain number. Okay, so one group that what we did is they had a beach ball. Okay, and one activity that they could do is on the beach ball, all right, they have different numbers written on the beach ball. So one person in the group threw the ball to somebody else, and when they catch the beach ball, they say one hand is on a 2 and one hand is on a 4. Okay, so let's say they're working on multiplication. Okay, 2 times 4, boom, 6. So they had to do 6 jumping jacks. So they already went over how to properly do a jumping jack. So during the activity, during their presentation, all right, they go through the beach ball. We call the exercise beach ball activity. All right, so they're like, all right, we're going to cover multiplication. All right, so whatever number you hit on your hand, those two together, you got to multiply those two. All right, and that's the number of jumping jacks that you have to do. All right, so there we go. There's the third one covered, logical and mathematical, on top of the interpersonal, intrapersonal, and bodily kinesthetic. All right, so the visual and verbal, pretty simple. All right, visual perception, working on the ability to create and manipulate mental images and the orientation of body and space. All right, so they might want to find some different pictures or maybe have a demonstration video of somebody performing a Guinness Book record of push-ups or a Guinness Book record in sit-ups, or show a video of the fastest man in the world. Maybe show a Usain Bolt video of the run. Okay, so they use that as a visual. Going on into the second one for the verbal, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm just verbally telling you the theory on the multiple intelligence. So some of the students obviously went the more basic route, and they would just stand there and explain the push-up or explain their sit-up, and just be, all right, everybody, we're going to do 10 push-ups. So ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, and they do their 10 push-ups. So those are the 8 aspects of the multiple intelligence theory and how I use them without even knowing it in my health class. So one question that I have for everybody watching this video now is, how can you cover 3 or more aspects of the multiple intelligence theory in a group project for your class, regardless if it's math, language arts, music, physical education, or drama, or whatever topic you cover. I think that's a good activity here that you can do, is just a simple group presentation of your chosen topic in your classroom, and make sure that 3 or 4 of those aspects are covered. Thank you for your time, and those are my explanations for the multiple intelligence theory. Have a good day.